Hello everyone, this is Denise of DD Designer, and tonight I'd like to show you how I am making this. I call it a six-corner granny square baby sweater, which it can be it can be I'm sorry, made to fit any size person. But tonight we're going to do a 0 to 3 months. Okay, so I call it six sides because you see four here, four sides here, and now the other two are here's one, and here's the second, the third, the sixth one. Oh my goodness. Anyway, um, I'm going to show you how to do this little sweater, and actually, it's half of the sweater. And we'll be getting started right now. Okay, I'm gonna fold this and put this out of the way. And this evening we'll be using a little pair of scissors, of course, darning needle. Uh-oh, darning needle. There we go. And we're using this I don't know if you can see this okay because of the way my room is being lit right now. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'll read it to you. It's Baby B, Sweet Delight, Angel, and this is um, a 40% polymade and 60% acrylic. You won't need the entire skein of yarn, but it's a nice, soft, plushy type feel. And of course, it's white. Um, the size hook it says that it would like to be used is a let's see, it says it wants to use a 4.5 millimeter. Okay, and I am using. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. None of those are it. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's the size. I'm telling you, that's the size. All right, so we're going to put this stuff that we're not needing right now. Of course, you know, I usually like to make a ball, but tonight we're going to pull it straight from the center. I'm going to pull the yarn straight from the center, and there's a nice little knot. I call this a little knot. It's not that big, so it's a little one. All right, yeah. So we're going to start with a magic circle. If you're not familiar with the magic circle, you can always do the chain. And what we're going to do is complete our magic circle and fix that up, okay? So we're doing clusters of three, and in between those clusters, um, we're gonna chain two stitches, and we're making six clusters of three. Hope I told you that right. Anyway, first one, we're going to chain three because that is our first double crochet. And we're going to make one double crochet here, that's 2 double crochets. Then we're going to make a third double crochet. That's 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, and we'll do that same thing all around until we get to the 6th cluster of 3. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to chain 2. 1 and 2. So we got 2 clusters so far, and we need 6. So we're going to put another group of clusters. 3. That's 1. I don't know if that's right or not, because I kind of sort of got. Okay, here we go. Sometimes it's really hard to hold your work until it gets to be a lot larger, and I always do that because I pull it. This is 2, and this is 3. Okay, 3 double crochets, and we do our chain 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. 1, 2. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 2 more to make our 6. 3 double crochets in this 5th cluster. 2 and 3 and chain 2. Final cluster. Okay. I'm going to pull my ring a little bit. Final cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So we've made it to our beginning, and what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to slip stitch into that first chain stitch that we did. Let's see, the top of it. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and this is 3. It's kind of, you gotta kind of kind of sort of look at it real good. And that's a slip stitch. So this is what it'll look like. Doesn't look like much of anything right now, but eventually we'll close this circle up, and it'll start looking like the other half of our sweater. So next step is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, Okay, double crochet, 2 double crochets in this last chain space that you made. Okay, right here. Right, so we're good. Gonna put 2 double crochets there. 1, 2. Okay, okay. So that's where your starting point is, and your ending point is the same place because it's in rounds. You're doing it in rounds. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and in that last chain space right here, the next chain space, we're going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, and now listen carefully because this is where we're going to start growing our 6-point granny square sweater. Okay, chain 1. In the same space that you put the 3 double crochets, put another 3 double crochets there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you see your little point right here. Got a little point right there. Okay, so let's keep on going. And the next space, you're going to put 3 double crochets there. 1, 2, 3. Now, at this point, you're going to you're only putting the the 6 the 3 double crochets, the space. I'm sorry, the chain, and then another 3 in the points, only in the points of your sweater. All right. So this middle this middle space, we're only putting 3 double crochets there. And now we have to go chain 2, 1, 2. Now 3 double crochets in this point. 1, 2, and 3. Now we have to chain 1, and we'll put another 3 in the same chain space, which will make it 6 double crochets. Okay, now we'll chain 2. 1, 2. All right, let's see. So we've got 1. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not that already. We're gonna we're gonna pull that out. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So we're gonna go back to, we're not at that point where we're gonna just put the 1 in there. So we're gonna go back to our second group of um, double crochets. Okay. So I took this one out. So this has to be a point also. I'm building our points. All right. I hope you can follow my era. And so this was our right here. This one right here is our first three. This is our second group of clusters. 3 chain and 3. This is our third group of clusters. 3, oh gosh, chain and 3. 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. This is our fourth group of clusters, which will be 3 double crochets in that chain space. I'm sorry. Okay, hold tight, Denise. Okay, all right. Grab the. See, this happens to the best of us. Okay, there we go. That's 2. Now we're gonna double crochet. 3. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. 1, 2, and 3. Now we have to chain 2. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. Uh, Going to our next center chain, that center chain there in between the double crochets, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to chain 1, and in the same chain space as the first cluster of 3, we're going to put another cluster of 3. 2 and 3. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Okay. Now in this fifth, actually it's the sixth because we're going to go into the first one. But the next chain space, another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 in the same space, another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now We've caught up to our first 3 double crochets, and what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, go in for our double crochet to complete this round. 1, 2, and 3. Now we still have to make that chain space and find our 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there we go. To slip stitch. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when we get a little more um, crochet stitches on here, you'll be able to see the sweater forming. Okay, so we're back at our beginning, and we chained the 1. Now we're gonna make 1, 2, and 3 chains. That counts as 1 double crochet, and we're gonna do 2 more in that last chain 2. It's almost like you're going kind of backward, but somehow it manages to turn the right direction. Go figure. Chain 2, and in this chain space we will do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this is where I got kind of ahead of myself. So this time we're going to chain 2. Okay, because we already have our 6 corners. After we chain 2, we're going to go into that next chain space and do another cluster of 3, 2, and 3, and in the same, now we're going to make a chain 1, and in the same space we're going to put 3, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets and chain 1, 2. Now we're going to go all the way around again. Now, this time we do 3 double crochets in this one space, the chain space with 2, and then chain 2, and in that chain 1 space we're gonna put 3 double crochets on one side, 2 and 3, and in between there we're gonna put 1 chain, and then we're gonna complete it with the last 3 clusters of double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2. Now, so we're basically just going around in a circle doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, chain 2, 1, 2. When you get to the chain 1 cluster, you're going to put 3 double crochets, a chain, and now another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna figure my cameras out one of these days. I'm working on it. I just hope that you can get something out of what I'm trying to show, and let's keep it moving. Okay. All right. So we got that now. Chain 2, 1, 2, and in that chain space of 2, we're putting 1, 2, uh-oh, we're putting 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, and chain 2 in that single chain space. We're going to put 3 double crochets, 2, 3, a chain space, 1 chain, 1 chain, and the last 3 double crochets in this particular cluster. Chain 2, and your work should start to be curling a little bit. And we're putting 3 double crochets into this chain space. You'll notice that you'll be doing more than that one space as we get further into this. And we're going to chain 2, and we're going to 3 double crochets. Kind of sort of split. I don't want to do that. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to go with a cluster of 3. First we're going to do our 1, 2 chains. Then we're going to go for our cluster of 3 double crochets. 2, 3, chain 2, and that's where we're at. We're at our beginning, because it's only though that's the first 3 we put in. So now what we'll do is we will complete that one with another 3 double crochets and a chain. 2 and 3, a chain, 1, and slip stitch, 1, 2, 3 into that third stitch, chain and slip stitch. Okay, so your work will start curling like this, so don't worry, it'll all work out. Someone said these were like a 5 minute sweater. Maybe I don't crochet that quite that fast, but it takes me a little longer than 5 minutes. But it caught my eye, and I really got the hang of it. It's just very easy. It's beginner friendly. Um, it really is. 1, 2, 3, and just in the beginning, it might feel a little different because it's 6 points. Okay, 1, 2. Now chain. I'm sorry, those chain twos and 3 double crochets. Just 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. Chain 2. Now we're getting into it now because we're going to put another 3 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. Okay, and then what are we going to do? 1, 2, chain 2, and now we're at our cluster of 6, and we're going to put the 3 double crochets in on one side, and what's going to separate those 3 double crochets on this side is a chain space, one chain space, and put the another 3 double crochets. Don't give up. Just keep working at it. I don't know. I hope you can see my work good enough to follow. But just don't give up. Keep working at it. That's what I did because it was kind of odd to be working with six a granny square with 6 points. So I finally got it, and it's a breeze. So it'll be a breeze in a minute. Let's give it about 5 minutes for you. Okay, so we're putting another 3 double crochets in this next chain 2 space, and we have another chain 2 space. But first we gotta do our chains, 2 chains, and now in the next chain 2 space we're putting 3 double crochets. Okay, chain 2, 1, 2, we've got 3, yep. And in the cluster where we put the chain 1, we're putting 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 1, and another in that same cluster, in that same single chain space, another 3 double crochets and 2 chains. Here we go. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, we've got another cluster we're coming up on, chain 2, Yeah, don't give up on it because you can do it. 1, 2, and 3, and chain. 1, 2, and 3, chain 2. All right, we're getting back around. Okay, 1. Uh-oh. There's a cluster of 3, 2, and 3. Chain 2. 1, 2, and do another cluster of 3. 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. Don't forget that chain 2, and then go into the cluster of 6 in the chain 1 space and place your 3 double crochet clusters in that chain 1 space. Now you chain 1 and put the rest of your 3 double crochet clusters. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 2. 1, 2. Here we go. Chain 2 and a cluster of 3. 2, and this is 3. Chain 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, and we'll have a cluster of 6, and we'll put this next one cluster into the chain space 1. That's 3, chain 1, and 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and we're doing another cluster of 3. 1, 2, and then 3, chain 2. And we got another cluster of 3 in the next chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and we're back to our first cluster of 3, which we have to complete that off with another cluster of 3 and 1 chain to make our space, our chain space, our single chain space. 1, 2, and 3. So chain 1, find your third there we go. I think, nope. 1, 2, and this is 3. There we go. Come on. All right. And we're going to do a slip stitch as soon as I can get it through here. Okay. Now, I'd like to just, hopefully you can see this. Okay. So you see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 6. 6 points. So I'm going to go around one more time, and then we're going to do this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go around one more time. That'll make it 5 rounds, and then I'll meet you back when you get to your 11th round. Okay, just before you finish the 11th round, we will meet there. All right, I got a knot, and this is why I like to unwind my yarn before I start crocheting, because sometimes this can be a battle. It can be, but um I don't believe in cutting my yarn, but some people do. Okay, so here we go. This is our first cluster of 3. And we're starting off with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, which is counted as our first double crochet. Now we're going to make 2 more double crochets. That's 1, and here's the second one. Okay, now chain 2, and you'll notice we'll be having one more cluster added in each time we go around. So the first time we only had one cluster, okay? Then the second time we had 2 clusters, 1, 2. And the next time we're going to have 3 clusters, 1, 2, 3, okay? Where these little spaces are, that's where the clusters are going, the 3 clusters, all right? So we did our chain 2, and we're putting our first 3 clusters, 2 double crochets of 3 in one space, and we're going to chain 2, double crochet in the next space, chain space of 2, 1, 2, 3 of them have to go on inside of each of these chain spaces. That's 2, and here's 3. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 2. So see, we put 3 of them in there that time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excuse me, chain 2, 1, 2, and in the cluster of 6, in the one chain space, we'll put 3 double crochets. Uh-oh. 1, 2, and chain 1, and 1, 2, and 3. There's our point. Chain 2, and we're going to go with 1, 2, 3 clusters and chain 2, another 3 clusters, 2 and 3, and chain 2, 1. Make sure we pick up all of our yarn on the hook. Uh-oh, got another snag. I got another snag. I am so thirsty. I better drink me a little water. Sorry. All right, now let's get this party started. Okay, add some water, pull out some more yarn, made my 2 chains, and now I'm doing another cluster of 3 double crochets, 3, and now 2 chains, 1, 2, and we're going to do this cluster of 6, 3 on one side, 1, 2, and 3, a chain to separate them, and another 3 on the other side of the chain 1. Okay, now 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 2 and 3. Now chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. Now we're going to do our cluster of 6, 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. Continue in the same space with the last cluster, the last 3 double crochets. There we go. Chain 2, 3 cluster of 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, chain 2, cluster 3 double crochets in the chain 2 space, 2, 3, and chain 2, 3 double crochets in the chain 2 space, 2, 3, and chain 1, 2. Now double crochet in the single chain space of this cluster of 3. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go another 3, 2, and 3. Now chain 3. I'm sorry, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Cluster of 3 and chain 2. 1, 2, 3, and chain 1, 2. Okay, 3 double crochets in this single chain space. 2 and 3, and chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. Cluster of 3 in these little windows. 1, 2, and excuse me, 3. Nice little tug lug. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there's a chain 2. And we've got 1, 2, 3, and we're back at our beginning cluster of 3, which we will complete this round with another cluster of 3, and don't forget your chain 2s and 1 chain, a single chain between them 2. 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 1 and 1, 2, here it is. 1, 2, and here's 3. And we're going to slip stitch. Okay, so let me show you how to count them. Okay, here's our center right here. Okay, this is our center right here. So this was the first round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from the center, count the little clusters. There's 2 on each side, but they all equal round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and round 5. All right, so what we'll do is we will see you at round 11. Okay, so finally we're at our 11th round and our last um, group of 3 double crochet clusters. So we're making our last 3 double crochet clusters. All right, and chain 1 in the third double crochet from the first round of that particular row, not row but round. Okay, I didn't. Got to chain 1 first, okay, and then do the slip stitch. Okay, slip stitch, and that completes our other half of our sweater. And I'm trying to sort of prop my little table up. Okay, so you can see where I'm headed for. Ah, I'm a little trapped. There we go. So we're going to leave the yarn long so that we can have something to sew with, okay? And I like to pull it through this this little loop here. I made it small because sometimes long doesn't work. Not for me anyway. Looks like small doesn't work either. Okay, and pull your little string. All right. Now there's a way we can make this lay down, but right now let's let's go on with our sweater. All right. And this is the other half right here. And we've got a nice long on this one and a nice long on this one. Long tail. All right. So let's first let's put our sew our backs together. Okay. And this is the back. So the back is going to end up like that. Yeah. Okay. Here's where our needle comes in play. So sometimes sometimes you uh, might want to put a safety pin, not a safety pin, but a straight pin up at the top. Okay. That one's going on that side. So I will start my sewing. And everybody have their own method of sewing. I don't know what's right, but one day I'll figure it out. But this is how it works for me. Thread my needle, thread my needle, darning needle, technically. Okay, and I will start with the um, putting it in. I am putting this into the three clusters between the six clusters and the chain. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here's the chain. Then I want the two loops on here. My fingers are in the way. There's two, and there's two. All right, and each one of the um, crochets, two uh, two double crochets that I reach, I will put, I will sew that. Okay, so there's one. I'm sorry if you can't see this very well. Hold on. Let's see this little bubble here. sometimes we run into glitches. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. Okay, so here is, this is my, I didn't pull it out, so my my six, three on one side, that's my 6 clusters, three on one side, chain, three on the other side, okay? So I put the yarn through the chain space. But now we're going to go in each one of the stitches. Okay, each one of the stitches. My thread is probably too long. Hmm. Let's find the little scissors. Let's see. One, two, cut it here. Okay, so I'm going to do a few of these and then I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so let's see, we'll go into the next double crochet, the top of it. The Okay, it's kind of sort of a whip stitch. So, get like that. All right. One, two, got it. Mhm. Not crazy about pulling it too tight because I don't want to distort the flow of the pattern. But I don't want it too loose either. There we go. That's better. That's better. Next chain is a chain space there. So okay. Sometimes this can take a few minutes longer than what you would want it to, but just take your time and it'll all come together really nice. All right. So I'm going to continue on down and I'll meet you at the end of this um one, this end of the sweater. Okay, the bottom of the sweater. Okay. So we've completed the back seam. Okay, this is the inside and here's the outside, the back seam. All right, and we will go to the next seams to sew will be to make the armholes. Okay, and and the armholes will go straight across like that. Okay, all right, we'll do one at a time, of course. um, Here's my needle under there. My blondie needle. Here we go. All right. Now, for now, I'm just gonna just release my needle from down there, and I'm gonna use this yarn that I cut from the center yarn and sew the back together, and now I will thread my needle. I hope. Okay, here we go. Thread my needle. Here we go. There we go. So, and the same concept. Okay, but don't forget to turn your work inside out. Okay, don't forget to do that because Nothing's worse than having to pull these stitches out. So we will start and do both sides like that. Okay. Because in my opinion, the neck is a little tricky, right? So I like to try to keep it at like open right about here. So we have the cluster of three, I'm sorry, the cluster of six at the corner here. Okay. Then we have the cluster of three and that the two chains and another cluster of three. So at that second cluster of three, we can make a little lapel. And if I can find my little stick pin, make it. Ah, okay, that's a little better. Now, find my stick pin. There we go. If you find the one that I had, is the same too. All I need to do is spill them all. That would be interesting. Okay, hold tight. Hold tight, everyone. Okay, guys, now that we've got everything sewed in, we only do three spots, the back and the sleeves, okay? We've sewn those in, right, on both sides. And if you haven't, just go back and do what you can, sewing them up, and just continue to follow along. Okay, and a little. So that was one of my stitches that yarn ends that I needed to um, cut because I weaved them in. I left these here for this purpose. Okay, this was our very beginning part of our sweater. This was um the ring, the magic ring. So I'm tightening it up, and I am going to take my darning needle, okay, and I better use my right hand. I know this is my left hand. Okay, I think I can work with both hands with no problem, but I'm actually right-handed. So, excuse me. Once we tighten that magic circle up under the arm, see where the yarn is coming out of. This might be kind of hard because it's a white color. I will take my darning needle and go around that circle and continue to tighten it a little as I go. Okay, go around the circle. I'm going all the way around the circle. I put it through and then I'll pull a little at a time. I'll go, okay, and one more time around the circle. You can go around the circle as many times as you want, but I think back to the beginning is a good point to stop, okay? So leave in your ends, all right? And leave in your other side, okay? The same way, all right? You can do this on the inside or the right side or the wrong side. It doesn't matter because you're not going to see the thread at all. All right. So let's undo this and do this one. We'll get this knocked out of the way. And here we go. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Now back to our magic circle where we started, and we're going to take that darning needle through that circle. Okay, take the darning needle through that circle, and you can go all the way around a little at a time. And try not to go all the way through. You want to be between the thread. You don't want to feel the needle on the underside or see it. Okay. Mhm. And we'll go one more time, and that'll put us back at the beginning. Just about. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hold this in a position that you can actually see. And pull it through. And right here is where I'm gonna cut it. Okay, so now if you still have this yarn here up at the top, up at the collar, if you don't, you can attach um, attach another piece of yarn, of course the same color. And what I'm going to do with mine is, and you can do this too if you like, it's your sweater. You can do whatever you want with it. Um, decorate it however you want. So my plan is I'm going to make a single crochet around the collar, I'm going to make a single crochet, kind of sort of let it look kind of finished in that kind of way. Then I'm still going to have my lapels, and I am going to use some ribbon, would you like that? I don't know if you can still see it or not. Anyway, I'm going to use white ribbon, and I'm going to, in between these little um, spaces, I'm going to come up, and I'll have two laces left, and that's where this will be open, but the ribbon will be one side, and then one side, and then the laces, and I can tie it in a bow. Okay, Um, and after that, my plan is to finish my sleeves with, I'm going to weave, this is elastic, and I'm going to weave some elastic in through the little hole, the little spaces. I don't want to call them holes, but the little spaces. And then I am going to take my ribbon and go through just like the the uh, the the elastic, so that the ribbon will cover the elastic, and I can possibly tie a bow at the top of the sleeve. Okay, well, that's the top, but that'll be at the child's wrist. The bow will be at the child's wrist. So that's my plan, and I'm going to take a lovely picture, and I will post it along with uh, this tutorial. Okay, thank you. I'll see you soon. Hello again. So thank you for watching. And once you finish your sweater, give me send me a picture. Let me see it. And don't forget to do uh your weaving in, and um make your sweater design your sweater, decorate it the way you would like it to look. And I will, once I get this up, I'll be showing you my sweater. Um, and I'm trying to get off now because it's about to, well, it's thundering, so uh, we might lose some power. Like we lost power last time it rained and had this thunderstorm. So, um, also give me a like, give me a comment on what you think about my project. And also, please subscribe. Don't feel like, you're shy. Just go ahead and subscribe. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.